The book I chose to read and analyse was Leadership Intelligence, The 5 Cues for Thriving as a Leader, written by Andrew Kakabadze and Ali Qasim Jawad. This text provides a thoughtful insight to the beginnings and development of influential leaders, and what characteristics are responsible for forming such type of people. Kakabadze and Jawad evaluated that there are 5 fundamental qualities that all individuals are required to become great leaders. These are the 5 Qs: the intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, political quotient, resilience quotient, and the moral quotient. Each attribute possess their own features, and depending on an individual's strengths or weaknesses for each area, can massively impact their behavior and decision making. The authors highlight the importance of all 5 areas, but they also demonstrate a leader's need to be adaptable and agile in response, which relies on a leader's ability to judge the situation and apply each leadership quotient effectively. It isn't appropriate to constantly use all 5 quotients equally. Instead, each area must be used to a varying degree at suitable times to reach the best outcome. This entails that leaders at high levels must adopt a situational management style, which means their behaviours and how they use each area should be contextually dependent. For instance, executive directors within businesses will have a heavy reliance on IQ, PQ, and RQ, while they will use EQ and MQ less often. At a strategic leadership level, individuals endure a strenuous career where their colleagues act as obstacles in competition rather than being part of a team atmosphere. Hence, there is a focus on the use of IQ and PQ in order to achieve personal agendas with the barrier of dealing with like-minded colleagues, while RQ is necessary for the role's constant intensity. On the other hand, general managers place an emphasis on the use of the emotional quotient, as their job entails the motivation and influencing of their subordinates. This demonstrates the vitality of accommodating leadership styles and quotient use to match your purpose. A recurring theme within the text was the concept of value delivery and value proposition, and how the implementation of each could determine the success of a leader. Value delivery focuses on learning from past business actions to understand which actions delivered success and which delivered failure. Value delivery-minded leaders will justify future strategies using past results. Opposingly, value proposition-minded leaders are more vision-based and will set future goals and accomplishments with strategies to achieve this. The book reiterates that leaders must incorporate both techniques, as those who stray too far to either side of the spectrum will become close-minded and predictable. One of the key features within this book's content was the realistic image of leadership, highlighted by the authors. This unique projection of power strayed from the conventional glorified view of leadership that most other books or media propose. Instead, leadership was displayed as an arduous and burdening task that only a handful of dedicated individuals are willing to withstand. CEOs exemplify this challenge, as their position means they not only have to deal with the potential loss of reputation and legal consequences if they make the wrong decision. Furthermore, the text states that many CEOs must make daily choices between morally unethical actions and doing the best by their company, or being ethical at the cost of the company's success. They are presented with an impossible situation and need to find the best outcome every time, otherwise their position within the company could be tarnished. According to the text, this non-stop pressure on leaders is causing high levels of anxiety and, in some cases, depression. Although the text has been thoroughly researched and is highly credible, there are some certain components of the text that are slightly controversial and could be criticised from an alternate perspective. A noticeable criticism within the book is that the writings on the moral quotient are at times inconsistent, as the book states that having a moral compass is essential. However, leaders must make decisions that are unethical at times. It seems almost contradictory. That's why out of all the quotients, morality is the least important, and unlike the other quotients, I believe it isn't essential. Despite there being hundreds of definitions for leadership, a commonly used definition is the process of motivating and commanding a group of people. Morals have nothing to do with being able to motivate and influence. In history, we have witnessed several great leaders who have organized groups of people to achieve near impossible tasks. However, many of these leaders have no moral instinct and have done truly wicked things. Does this mean they are admirable and role models? No. But are they still influential leaders? Yes. Therefore, it can't be justified that morals and values are essential for all leaders. Within the book, the author stresses the importance of the political quotient, which requires a manipulation of people to suit your own hidden agenda. This sort of manipulation goes hand in hand with deviousness and dishonesty. However, the text then conveys that it is crucial that modern leaders operate in an authentic and transparent manner, nor do they abuse the power they have over their subordinates. It isn't possible to serve both purposes holistically, as one is a direct compromise of the other. Although a great leader can be seen to manage both, the truth is maintaining both isn't realistic. Despite the novel activity placed at the end of the book, the quiz is a practical feature of this book. The book constantly reminds us that leaders are not born perfect, rather they have certain characteristics and personality traits that they shape in order to self-improve. This quiz acts as an objective measurement for aspiring leaders to learn about their strengths and weaknesses. I highly advise testing it and utilizing the results as a platform for development. Elaborating on the message delivered by the authors, demonstrating the hardship leaders face. Readers should use this as a kickstart to contemplate and plan their own future. The thought of being a prestigious leader or a reputable executive of a large company may be exciting, but it doesn't often suit every person. This text should initiate personal inquiries as to what kind of leader you want to become. Who do you want to lead and why? And most importantly, at what capacity? Considering this at the beginning of your career will assist in providing yourself with clear goals and detailed strategies to achieve this. Even if becoming a strong leader in the future isn't part of your plan, there are still several messages to take away from this book. The concepts learned in this text have more meaning than to just assisting an individual in their goals to becoming a leader. It also helps in everyday life. These principles are key to becoming a better and more successful person in general and can be applied to most facets of life. So to absorb this information and to practice it where possible would benefit yourself in most situations. Ultimately, this book covered crucial concepts and raised several questions as to the approach and practice of leadership. It displayed a very structured and uncomplicated yet detailed perspective of leadership. Although it only scratched the surface as to the true nature of being a leader, it acts as a great platform to interpret and build leadership for aspiring young leaders. Thank you for listening.